Peace to the family, was goody? It's your boy back with another episode. I'm your host, Jody Wins. Welcome to the Jody Wins Show. We had a litty night in sports yesterday. We finna get into it. We gonna start with the NBA. And we gonna cover some shit that went over the weekend. But shout out to y'all. Before we start, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it. So we had the New Orleans Pelicans go against the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers won 119 to 104. The Pelicans dropped to 5-22. That's ridiculous. Pacers improved to 12-13. Murray had 19, 7, and 7. Jones had 19 and 5. For the Pacers, Siakam had 22 and 5. Halliburton had 21 and 10, double. Nembhard put up 17 and 7. Them niggas was cooking. I ain't gonna say cooking, but they won the game. You know, they were supposed to beat the Pelicans. Pelicans 5-22. Them niggas been losing all year. It's a cemetery over there. The Pacers, like I've been saying, they gonna be in the playoffs. They ain't gonna do shit though. But they did just get Thomas Bryant, I think, from Miami. I don't think it's gonna do much, but yeah, it is what it is. We had the Celtics go against the Wizards. Celtics won 112 to 98. Celtics improved to 21 and 5. Wizards dropped to 3-21. That nigga Jason Tatum had 28 and 12. The Celtics had 7 players with 11 plus points. I think JB had about like 15. Everybody else was just scoring. You know, they was moving the ball, getting everybody involved. For the Wizards, that nigga Jordan Poole had 21 and 7. He was out there hooping, you know. Hopefully Jordan Poole can be the person that I thought he was going to be. When James Harden went to Houston, he was just putting up buckets. And I thought Jordan Poole was going to do that, but shit, nigga, was I wrong. But I still think he got a chance to be a solid player in the NBA, though. We had the Knicks go against the Magic. The Knicks won 100 to 91. Knicks improved to 16 and 10. Magic dropped to 17 and 11. That nigga Jalen Brunson had 31 and 5. That nigga was out there cooking. That nigga was hot. That they didn't beat Atlanta, it looked like, so he was out there cooking. Karl Anthony Towns put up 22 points, 22 rebounds. That nigga was a beast out there. For the Magic, Mo Wagner had 32 and 6 off the bench. That nigga was cooking. Silva had 20. Franz Wagner didn't play. Paolo didn't play. So, I mean, and the Knicks barely won by 9. I feel sorry for the Magic that both of their players is out because, I mean, them niggas was cooking. Them niggas was on a run, but now that they out. Shout out to Mo Wagner for stepping up for his brother, though. That nigga had 32 and 6. That's off the bench. That's ridiculous. The Knicks, you know, I know they plan out of revenge because I know they still hot that Atlanta eliminated them from the cup. The niggas is at home. You know, it is what it is. We had the Blazers go against the Suns. Suns won 116 to 109. Blazers dropped to 8 and 18. Suns improved to 14 and 11. Simons had 20 and 5. Jeremy Grant had 17 and 6. That was their 6th straight L, I think. Portland Trailblazers. That was their 6th straight L. For the Suns, Devin Booker had 28 and 5. KD had 27 and 7. My nigga KD back. Jones had 19. Bradley Beal didn't play. You know, I mean, does he ever play? Even when he there, do he ever play? You know what I mean? That nigga be showing up and disappearing. I'm mad at that nigga. Hopefully, gotta get rid of that nigga, bro, because, you know, I need my nigga KD to get another ring. Hopefully they trade Bill for like Butler or some Jimmy Butler. Or yeah, I mean, they gotta get rid of Bill for my nigga KD to get a ring. We had the Lakers go against the Grizzlies. Lakers won 116 to 110. Lakers improved to 14 and 12. That nigga Triple J had 25 and 5 for the Grizzlies. Ja had 27 and 6. That nigga AD had 40 and 16. Brown returned yesterday. He had like 18 8-8. I think it was something like that. I didn't write that down on there, but I think it was 18-8-8. Austin Reeves had 19-8. I think something like that. But shout out to the Lakers for getting that dub. You know, Bron returning. He returned against the Grizzlies. You know, it is what it is. With 80 cooking, Bron can rest as much as he want to, even though they need him. But you know, 80 should be taking over. It is his team. I think he's the best player on that team. So it is what it is. We had the Mavs go against the Golden State Warriors. This game was nice. We had the Mavs win 143-133. Mavs improved to 17-9. Warriors dropped to 14-11. My nigga Luka had 45, 11, and 13. That was a crazy triple-double. Clay returned back to the Bay Area. Nigga dropped 29-5 against his old team. Kyrie had 21-8. As a team, the Mavs shot 21 for 41 from the three. That's 51%. Them niggas was busting. For the Warriors, Wiggins had 29. Curry had 26, 10, and 5. Draymond Green had 21 and 7 off the bench. That nigga was hooping. And Kuminga had 20 and 6. They broke a record for combined threes. They had 45. Well, I ain't gonna say that's what they ended up with, but the previous record was 44 combined threes. So they broke that record between the two. That was a good-ass game. Shout out to the Splash Brothers. They both was busting. Kyrie was busting. Luka was busting. Pause on all three because that shit is wild. But, yeah, I mean, that game was nice. We got some games tonight. We're going to give you my predictions. It's going to be a little mid-episode. You know, I'm recovering from, I was litty last night. but I woke up and still decided to do this. You know what I mean? But we had the Sixers. We got the Sixers going against the Hornets. I got the Hornets winning. Sixers are struggling. I think McCain injured. He needs surgery. We got the Heat going against the Pistons. I got the Pistons by 10. Jimmy Butler want to leave, so I don't got no more faith in the Heat. We got the Bulls versus the Raptors. I got the Raptors. I think R.J. Barrett going to drop 30. Cavs versus Nets. Cavs by 100. Not even close. Nuggets versus Kings. I think Joker going to have a crazy stat line. 40, 10, and 10. Something like that, you know. I think the Nuggets going to win, you know. It's going to be a close game, but I got the Nuggets. We got Jazz versus Clippers. I got the motherfucking Clippers by 20. James Harden going to have a ridiculous night. I think Norman Powell going to have a ridiculous night. Now, on Saturday, Dennis Schroder from the Nets, Brooklyn Nets, was traded to the Golden State Warriors. You know, I think the Warriors trying to give Curry some more help because that nigga need it right now. They're not doing that bad, but they can use Dennis Schroder. That nigga been hooping this year. The Nets traded Dennis Schroder for DeAnthony Melton and 3 future second-round picks. Dennis Schroder to the Warriors, that's nice. Give somebody else a chance to dominate the ball while Curry can move off the ball. Plus, Dennis Schroder is a very good defender. He can guard the best guard on the floor. And that's just like Luka or something like that. Then Luka just going to destroy that nigga. But overall, Dennis Schroder is a nice pickup for the Warriors. They might get Jimmy Butler too, so you never know. Hopefully that trade goes down sometime this week because I know Jimmy Butler don't want to be in Miami no more. I mean, I know he want to, but they ain't trying to get that nigga the money, so I know he don't want to be there no more. But yeah, shout out to the Warriors for getting Dennis Schroder. That's a great pickup. He can defend. He can play make. He can bring the ball up. He can shoot. He can get to the bucket. You know, shout out to them. Okay, over the week. I think my last episode was Thursday. So over the weekend, or in between that time, that nigga Bronny James had played in his first road game against the Valley Suns. Nigga dropped 30. Like that nigga dropped 30. So shout out to Bronny James. You know, I'm like, whoa, I ain't never seen a nigga drop 30 in his whole career. Like in high school, I was looking at his stats. The nigga would have like 6, 3, and 4. You know what I mean? Went to college, it was like 5, 5, and 5. Made it to the NBA somehow. I don't get. I'm not knocking the nigga. Made it to the NBA somehow. I'm not knocking him, but in every game in the NBA has been 0, 3, 1 or some shit like that. The nigga averaged like 0 point something. So I don't. But for him to be in the G League, now he dropped 30, but they lost 106 to 100 against the Valley Suns. The nigga shot 51%, so that's good. I think before this game he dropped 16. So hopefully this is the nigga going on the up. I'm tired of seeing that nigga stat line and it be like 3, 4, and 9 or 3, 3, and 3. But shout out to Bronny James. Hopefully that nigga can get it together and get it popping. Get back in the NBA. Hopefully he don't get stuck in the G League. He get back in the NBA and can produce, at least 15, 10 to 15 points. That'd be nice for the Lakers and for him to start his career. Now we're going to get into the NFL. They had a whole bunch of games in the NFL. We ain't going to cover all of them, but we just going to cover some of them. We had the Ravens go against the New York Giants. Ravens won 35-14. Ravens improved to 9-5. Giants dropped to 2-12. That nigga Lamar Jackson was 21 for 25 for 290 yards, 5 touchdowns. That nigga was cooking. The nigga's a former MVP, but hopefully them niggas can make a deep run in the playoffs and get to the Super Bowl, because I want to see Lamar Jackson have more than just 2 MVPs. That nigga need a ring to solidify his career, even though he already there, but to solidify him with the greats and shit like that, that nigga need a ring. The Dallas Cowboys go against the Carolina Panthers. Dallas won 30-14. Dallas improved to 6-8. Carolina dropped to 3-11. Cooper Rush 18 for 29 for 214 yards, 3 TDs. Bryce Young was 19 for 28, 219 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. That nigga Rico had 25 carries, rushed for 149 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 9 receptions for 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Jalen Coker had 4 receptions for 110 yards, 1 touchdown. I don't understand what the Cowboys is doing. I really think they should have been tanking earlier in the year to improve their chances in the draft, because they not really doing shit this year. So, but it is what it is. Jerry Jones spending all this money for niggas to lose, like, ridiculously, 8 losses. Them niggas is ass. I thought they was going to try to get, like, Schroder Sanders or something like that, get Dion as the coach. Something like that, but I don't know. Maybe they cool with being mediocre. They ain't run shit since the 90s. And they the most popular team, one of the most popular franchises in sports, and they still be fucking losing. So I don't know. Maybe maybe this is what they want to do. We had the Chiefs go against the Browns. Chiefs won 21-7. Chiefs improved to 13-1. Browns dropped to 3-11. That nigga Pat Mahomes left with an ankle injury. Hopefully it ain't that serious, because, it's getting deeper in the season, closer to the end of the season, and the playoffs finna start. That nigga gotta be healthy. But the nigga threw 19 for 32 for 159 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston, that nigga was 16 for 25 for 146 yards. Nigga threw 3 interceptions. Jerry Jeudy had 11 receptions for 108 yards. That nigga Jameis Winston is like a fucking... Madden, the new Madden. We don't. Madden, when you make your my career, and you make a quarterback and you play on all Madden, you throwing mad picks, yo. Like, my quarterback is mad picky, Like, nigga look open, you throw it, and it's an interception. That's how Jameis Winston look like he playing. Like, it don't matter what he do, he throwing mad interceptions every week. So, yeah, man, that nigga gonna have to do something or change his position or something, or maybe go work at Walmart or some shit like that, because, this shit is crazy how that nigga be throwing mad picks. We had the Eagles go against the Steelers. Eagles won 27-13. Eagles improved to 12-2. Steelers dropped to 10-4. That nigga Jalen Hurts was 25 for 32, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson was 14 for 22, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. Saquon Barkley had 19 carries for 65 yards. I think this game did no good justice for his MVP talk. I think this kind of like put him down. A.J. Brown had 8 receptions for 110 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith had 11 receptions for 109 yards, 1 touchdown. Bills went against the Lions. This was the game of the night for me. Bills had 48. Lions had 42. Bills improved to 11-3. Lions dropped to 12-2. Josh Allen, 23 for 34, 362 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 11 carries. He rushed for 68 yards, and he rushed for 2 touchdowns. So that nigga was cooking. He probably going to get the MVP just off of this game alone. James Cook had 14 carries for 105 yards, 2 TDs. Ty Johnson had 5 receptions for 114 yards. For the Lions, Jared Goff was 38 for 59, 494 yards, 5 touchdowns. That nigga was cooking. He could have. This can be his MVP game. The game that solidifies MVP. Amon-Ra had 14 receptions for 193 yards, 1 touchdown. Laporta had 7 receptions for 111 yards. Gibbs had 5 receptions for 83 yards, 1 touchdown. The game was high scoring in my book. I don't never really see too many football games like that. But the game was ridiculous. Shout out to the Bills. Shout out to the Lions for, fighting. It was a late game, heroic, for the Bills to get that dub. Shout out to the Bills, though. Today we got a couple games on Monday Night Football. We got the Bears versus the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings because the Vikings been cooking this year. And then the Bears been... they ain't did shit since motherfucking Brian Urlacher. So shout out to the Vikings. I got the Vikings winning by a dub. We got the Falcons going against the Raiders. I got the Falcons. The Raiders is 2-11. They need Jesus right now. But I got the Falcons winning. Hopefully, when they win this game, they can get to 500. But... that game is pretty mid. I ain't really give a fuck about that game. But I still got the Falcons winning that game. Now we're going to get into some college football. So over the weekend, Colorado's Travis Hunter, that nigga, he won the 2024 Heisman Trophy. It wasn't even, there was other players, but I think this nigga had to win it because the nigga was that nigga. And he been that nigga. Shout out to Travis Hunter. The nigga had 92 receptions. 1,152 yards. He had 14 TDs. He played offense and defense. Nigga had 4 interceptions, 30 tackles. Shout out to Travis Hunter. That nigga's speech was nice. The nigga was looking for his brother and said he was going to continue to be the motivation and all that other stuff. But yeah, that nigga deserved it. I don't really think nobody else. There was other great players, but I just think Travis Hunter had to get it because the nigga was cooking. He played both sides of the ball. He contributed on both sides. He not just playing both sides. The nigga actually is involved and he contributes both sides of the ball. That nigga gonna have a ridiculous NFL career when he get to the league. That's all we got for tonight. That's all we got for today. I'm gonna see y'all in the morning. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.